You're listening to the sound of the 80s with the Old School Movements podcast.
Yes, it's another episode. Old School Movements podcast is in the house once again. And hey, guys, this episode, it's a crazy one. It's great to hear you guys and see you guys again, man. How's everyone doing, man? Everyone good?
Been thinking about the 80s, missing all the old movies and thinking how rubbish everything is nowadays.
Yeah.
We've been on a bit of a downer, news of Carl Weathers.
That's sad.
The sad passing of Carl Weathers, hero to us of the 80s, man.
Yeah. Classic one-liners.
Oh yeah. He put a lot of people onto boxing more than actual boxers.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He was that's how influential his character Apollo Creed was.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I mean? And even though it was the film was called Rocky, it was a battle with Rocky against Apollo, but you were still rooting for Apollo, even though he was supposed to be the villain of the film.
Exactly. Still wanted him to do well and do better in the other films as well. And I think he got people into James Brown as well.
Yeah,
of course.
That too. I'd say just topped it off for me as a kid when he starred in Action Jackson, man. That just
forgot about that program.
Yeah,
oh my God, Action Jackson. Yeah,
I watched that. I rinsed
Action
that video over the 6 weeks holiday by my cousin. Oh my God, that was the only video I watched. Rinsed and repeat.
Forgot about that film, man.
Yeah.
That film was major,
Yeah.
It was a good film back in the day.
Completely forgot about Action Jackson.
Carl Weathers and Vanity, man.
Wow.
Jesus.
And then he was in and out of films, and then he just appeared again and joined the Star Wars universe in Mandalorian, man.
Yeah, it's good to see him back on the screen.
Brilliant full circle for us to see him as kids in Rocky.
Yeah.
And then people often mistaking him for Billy D. Williams.
For Lando, yes.
Yeah, and then him appearing in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
So.
It is a good circle, but it's a shame.
I always got him mixed up with Billy D. Always.
Yeah.
Sad time.
But all hail Carl Weathers, man.
Weathers, our hero.
Rest in power.
There you go. So,
He's up there listening to our podcast.
yep. Today's podcast, as we're on the vibe of villains, it's like, yes, you do normally root for the villains. The villains are interesting in movies, but some villains are just right bastards. Like we cheered when Clarence Boddicker got his neck pierced by Robocop at the end.
Yes.
We cheered when Victor Maitland got gunned down by Axel Foley in Beverly Hills Cop, didn't we, Leroy? And we all screamed with joy when Danny Glover killed that racist South African guy in Lethal Weapon 2 because they were right bastards. And that's what we're going to celebrate.
Diplomatic immunity is just been revoked.
And so today we're going to celebrate that. We're going to celebrate deaths of evil bastards in Hollywood. So, but we're going to do it in our versus top 5 stars. So we're going to pit which death to an evil movie bastard was more painful or more satisfying to a viewer in the other. Normal voting style.
What was the worst death out of the ones we say?
Worst death.
What was the worst death?
Worst deaths. Okay,
the villains you couldn't wait to see the back of.
You couldn't wait to see but you just like, no, I want you dead. Like the first 10 minutes, I want you gone.
You're getting it later.
Well, DL, you did it again. You knocked the ball straight out of the park with this one.
Let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. Let's get our versus caps on. So
we started.
We're starting here. Like this one, we'll go back to the early 80s because seeing this, like you're watching a action adventure film, and you just see this at the end. It was the first time I saw spirit ghosts. Like you saw the woman in the library in Ghostbusters, but this was the first film. We're talking about Raiders of the Lost Ark here.
This is biblical ghosts, man. This is biblical ghosts.
And this is at the end where the evil villain, what was his name? Balak. What's his name? Balak.
Yeah, he was the main.
Balak.
The main dude.
So Balak, Balak is Balak. He's got the Ark of the Covenant, and he wants to see the beauty of it. And all his Nazi soldiers, all in the cave, wanting to see this beauty. But Indy was a smart one, and he closed his eyes.
Yeah.
Close your eyes.
That's it, and didn't look at the evil. And when the evil came, because Balak was a right bastard all through the film. He looked evil.
And his mate Arnold.
His mate Arnold. Who's his mate Arnold?
The one who gets
the other
Fels
guy.
mate.
Yes. Oh,
The
yes.
one who properly gets the Fels mate.
Yes.
Nazi Major Arnold Tott, the one who has the burnt hand. He gets the proper.
Yes.
He was a bastard.
He was, yeah.
Parental advisory.
Yeah, exactly.
Show. So he was a bastard.
This evil duo, like Indy was on their back all through the film, but they managed to catch up with each other, and so on and so on. Anyway, they're in the cave. The spirit ghosts come. They look all nice at first, but then they're scary as fuck. That bit. I used to freak out.
Omen music, man.
Don't look. But us as the viewers, we got to see, and what we got to see was these guys melt like candle wax.
Yes.
Like, just by looking at spirits, these guys just melted. And I think it was only just them two that melted. Everyone else got lasers through their chest.
It was just Arnold, but Bollock got his face exploded. His head just blew up. And
just
then
blew up.
Only Major Arnold Tott was the one who, like a candle,
his
skin melted off his skull, man. It was
just by looking at a ghost.
By looking at the ghost, at the spirit.
That was just one of the greatest ways to
It was.
You're messing with God powers, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, you get for what you're looking for. You know, it's like, mate, it's them ones where people say, "If I show you, I'll have to kill you." That's literally what happened to him.
Yeah.
If you get to see this beauty, you gotta die. It's simple.
You ain't living,
mate. It kind of messed me up.
Yeah, as a child it did.
But at the same time, it was a bit funny too, because the way the hat melted into the head, a small melted head now, and the glasses just all sank in. It was it
was good for them days. It was good for them days.
But fully deserved though.
Yeah, you didn't mind it.
Yeah,
you didn't mind it.
Yeah, didn't mind it. So let's not have the voting yet until we give the second what it's up against. Yeah, it was up against. So that's a melting man. He was a bastard all through the film with the other with Balak, and he melted and his mate got a head explosion. What would have been worse though? The melting or the head exploded? Maybe they're melting because your head exploded.
Yeah,
isn't it?
You're done.
No,
yeah.
You're dead, evil bastard. But that's not the worst melting scene we've seen in Hollywood in the 80s. Because, ladies and gentlemen, in 1987, a group of convicts who were mashing up Detroit, right, were looking to find Alex Murphy.
Yes.
And they knew he was in the steel mill. So they got their guns. They got on their SP 12,000. What was the car?
Yes.
XUX 2000s. They got their high military nuclear guns. And they went to the steel mill to look for Murphy. They split up, looking for me. Threw the little mirror down at them. Shot the black guy first. The black guy died first. Shot the black guy first, and then shot the other guy, looked like John Craven, and then went for the others. Right? As that was happening, one guy was in the van driving. Thought he was going to get Robocop.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And do you remember his last words? "Now I've got you." Yeah. Remember his last words? Robocop shot through the window screen. He
done a little slide.
Looked up, done a slide. What happened? What did he knock into?
Toxic waste.
It was similar to like Biff in Back to the Future, but that was manure. This was toxic waste.
This is toxic waste.
Oh, man.
Mate.
I just remember the fingers, the scene where he's fingers are like hanging.
Mate.
The keys are out of fame as well, man. The ginger bloke out of fame. Melted in Robocop.
Yeah. Melted in Robocop. If you could outsmart a bullet?
Yeah.
A college boy. Okay, so.
He was also in Rocky 2 as well. He was the guy, as a kid, I think in Rocky 2 when he's in a hospital signing autographs. He's the kid who's fully in plaster and Rocky signs his head. Same dude as well.
But yeah, that death was messed up because it looked brilliant. It looked brilliant.
It was brilliant effects,
But I don't know about you guys. I felt the pain, even though I didn't feel the actual being burnt by acid, but the closest you could feel from watching it on screen. Pain, if that makes any sense.
You knew he was suffering.
It was like wincy. It was like, man, because his as you say, his fingers, his eyeballs,
bits on him and everything. Yeah, makeup was wicked.
Yeah, it was brilliant, and he was calling for help. He's like, "Don't touch me, man!"
Yeah. None of them wanted to know.
He just
Nah,
didn't want
you're on
it.
your
And
own,
then
mate.
Clarence just ran him over, and he exploded. So he had both deaths from
Yeah,
Raiders of the Lost
yeah.
Ark. He melted and exploded. So guys, what is the best death out of those two guys? What are you going for, Lee? What are you going for? Is it Indy
It's gotta be.
or Robocops?
It's gotta be Robocops, man.
Yeah.
Just like you described.
Emil, that was
felt
his
it.
name.
Antowoski.
Yeah.
Who used to watch that program? I'll buy that for $1.
He loved watching that.
Hey, it's you. We killed you, man.
Yeah. I know you. You're dead. We killed
You're
you.
dead.
We killed you.
Yeah, so it's gotta be his. He's
got.
gotta be, like you said, he experienced 2 in 1.
I'll buy that for $1.
Oh, what a way to go.
Yeah. What made it better? His head came off when he got run over.
Did.
When he got run over, if you watch it, his head comes off.
But I know a lot of people
That's
who
major.
freeze frame that scene.
Yeah, yeah. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
To see his head come off.
Yeah, yeah. That's hands
It was a
down.
Proper.
Hands down. That one's
explosion.
like
And in those
Melt.
days, it was really gritty, man. It was gory.
Yeah.
That film.
Yeah.
It's the CGI just makes it look like a computer game these days, man. Them,
That's what I'm saying.
the effects in the old
Yeah,
days
but
were a
those-
lot better, man.
And plus, it was all worth it to see all of them die in that manner because of what they done
Yeah,
to Murphy.
Because of what
hatred
they done to Murphy. And that
Yeah.
death.
Give the man a hand.
Yeah. And that death out of all of them was the most painful
Jesus.
one, though. The way Emil
Yeah.
died
Yeah.
was just. But he deserved it.
He deserved it.
So are we all agreed on Emil's melting,
It's gotta be,
I'll
man.
go.
exploding, being knocked down?
Yeah, Arnold only
is-
got burnt, man. He could put some alcohol ladder on it.
yeah.
Innit? He still got his body. It's just a
He's got
small
his
head
body,
now
just
with
some burns.
glasses and
a little small head.
Bit of Savlon to sort him out.
It's true.
Yeah, Emil got it. He deserved
He
it.
got it twice.
He did.
And I'll buy
Okay.
that for $1.
Yeah, I'd definitely buy that for $1.
Okay, that's the first of our Hollywood movie bastards that died in a horrible way.
On Sesame Street today,
I love the title of
the
that.
word was bastard with a letter B.
Let's get into our next 2 Hollywood bastards. Okay, so this is my favorite. James Bond film.
It is
It's
mine
the
too.
debut
Yeah.
of Roger Moore as James Bond
Yeah.
in Live and Let Die, loosely based on Frank Lucas' American Gangster. It was, same kind of plot line. It was a black gangster in Harlem selling heroin, but in true James Bond style. This guy wanted to rule the world and make the whole world, drugged up and stuff. But anyway, yeah, the takeover. Yeah.
Takeover.
So this guy, he was Mr. Big. Was that his name in it?
Kananga was his name. but he was
Kananga.
Kananga, but he was
Kananga,
alias.
Mr. Big in America because he was shipping drugs from
Yeah.
some little island to America somewhere, wasn't he, in the film?
Yeah. Mr.
And he
Big.
took off that nose. Of,
Yeah,
when he took off
exactly.
his
And
face,
exactly. And he had disguises. Yeah, he had face disguises.
Disguises.
And he was just an evil bastard. But do you remember how he died? Well,
This,
Oh,
this
gosh.
spoiled the film a bit. It was so
It was-
budget the way it looked.
was so Benny Hill looking.
Yeah, it was so Benny Hill looking
no
for
way.
a decent, like you say, one of my favorite Bond.
Yeah.
I love this film, man. But the end, oh my god,
But it still had to, even though they killed him in this way, it couldn't be blood and guts and gore.
nah.
It had to be what it had to be. Well, anyway, he had an air capsule pushed down his throat by Bond.
Oh, and then
the
he
air
blew
capsule
up.
exploded.
Yeah,
massive.
And it
remember now.
inflated.
Like a
And then he
balloon.
exploded.
Looking like Jackie Wilson in a Rick Petite video, and then exploded. She's so fire.
Oh my god, Rick Petite.
It exploded.
That's
Jackie Wilson. Yeah, I like that one.
Yaphet Kotto was the actor, big actor, but
He's an alien. and stuff,
he was
yeah.
annoyed
Yeah,
with
yeah,
this
yeah,
film
he was,
afterwards because, like you were saying about like the book that Ian Fleming wrote, Live and Let Die is not based on that book. Like you say, they've changed it a bit, and he found out this, and he's like, "You're trying to like stereotype me and stuff."
Yeah.
And he said, like, the way I get killed in it is the most cartoonish, childish ending I've
Proper
ever
Acme.
seen. Like,
That
yeah,
was quite
it was
funny,
proper Acme gas, man. Definitely.
but it was funny though.
It was funny.
Like,
man. Do you
it was,
remember a
it
little
was.
bit before in the film? Remember he had 2 sidekicks, and one of them, big black guy called Whisper. He didn't talk
Yeah.
much.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah,
and he was sitting on the sofa, and they
the
shot
sofa, and they shot the sofa, and the sofa inflated. Yeah.
And the other guy was called Teehee, but no connection to Michael Jackson. But that was his name, Teehee.
Yeah.
And he had a claw hook. He had a claw hook, a bald-headed
That's right.
bloke, and a claw hook.
That's
I used
right,
to like
that's
his henchmen. His henchmen were cool.
So yeah, okay. So up against the Acme air
Manga.
explosion,
Rip the teeth.
we've got another messed up death. Another this guy, as air was put into him, this guy wasn't getting any air, and this is how he died. Because in Total Recall, if the window's smashed in Mars, it's over.
It's over. It's over. There's no atmosphere. Who would not like living here? Is Ross Abbott.
Yeah, but he likes an atmosphere.
He likes an atmosphere, and there's definitely no atmosphere.
Party with a
Ross Abbott is doing no gigs on Mars.
On Mars, definitely not.
Do no gigs on Mars. Do no gigs on Mars. Do no gigs on Mars. Anyway, so the evil villain. This guy was evil because we could have had his death in Robocop, but we already had a Robocop death. We wanted him dead in Robocop, but Emil's death was more gruesome. So we chose his death in Total Recall.
Is it Cohagen?
Cohagen. What a bastard.
Vilos Cohagen.
He starved people of air. He killed goldfish. Yeah. He got a woman with 3 tits killed by his henchman.
Yeah.
Evil. Yeah. You wanted him dead from when you saw him. Yeah.
And he killed Quato.
But yeah, he died a gruesome death. The windows were smashed, and he was sucked out onto
Mars's surface with no atmosphere.
No atmosphere, and he could get no air, and he
explode.
I just remember his eyes come out right out on stalks, isn't it?
Oh, man.
I mean, funny, that's one of the best scenes.
It's one of the funniest things.
Similar to Jim Carrey's The Mask when he saw Cameron Diaz's character singing.
On stalks, man.
Yeah.
Eyes on stalks.
Mate, it's messed up. You cannot
gruesome,
escape.
Man.
There's no escape.
But Arnie did
escape.
just.
Arnie did just because it's Hollywood. That's the only reason why. He should have, Arnie and the lady should have died as soon as they got out there. But it's Hollywood.
True.
So
he managed
they
to
get
set the
away with
reactor
it.
in time or whatever he done.
Yeah.
But they I'm sure as soon as they would have gone out the window, they would have exploded. And I like
They
the
would have
way
exploded.
I like the way with them as well. They roll all the way down the cliff before they start having their little. That would have happened straight. Like,
The eyeballs are like busted out.
Yeah,
all of that. But we saw his full transformation to like normal face to bugging out, literally bugging out. So is it the man who exploded with the Acme capsule, or is it the man who had no air on Mars and just
It's actually tough because both of them are really comical.
yeah.
yeah.
And they're both really
Kananga's would have been over quick. It was a few seconds inflation, totally explode.
Yeah,
You ain't gonna remember it. Whereas the other dude,
But it's his eyeballs.
the other dude struggled for a bit.
He was going through it, man. We all felt it. When we was watching it, was like, oh my god, could you
that's
imagine?
messed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going Cohagen, man. That's the worst.
Yeah, I'm going Cohagen because
Yeah.
it's not. It felt wrong. It felt to see
felt
eyeballs coming out like that. It
Yeah,
felt
but
wrong.
then like when my man was getting blown up, his eyeballs came massive as well. You see how big his eyeballs were? Just
Yeah,
before he blew
that's
up.
why he looked like Jackie Wilson. That's what I'm saying.
Bloody hell.
Like Jackie Wilson.
That's what I find. That's why I can't choose because I don't know.
Hey.
They're both.
So
Let's go.
Leroy, what are you saying? Leroy?
Yes,
Cohagen,
Total
man.
Recall, man.
Yeah.
And it's, you know what? How I'm judging it is that he was too much of a bastard, man.
He was.
He was a proper.
He rolled
royal-
over from Robocop, literally, innit? It was like the same sort of
like literally the
bastard.
same character. Yeah.
He's always a bastard.
Always
in
a bastard.
movies anyway.
But that's the thing. We loved him in Beverly Hills Cop. When he got shot in Beverly Hills Cop 2, we
Yeah.
wanted Eddie Axel to get revenge for him.
True,
We liked him
true.
in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
He was a decent Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
You know, the film's named after him. Beverly Hills Cop. Come on. Axel Foley ain't the Beverly Hills Cop. He's from Detroit.
That's true.
But yeah,
Give
man,
him some respect.
I think we as viewers felt like,
He
boy,
deserved it.
that was us. Yeah, he deserved it.
He
And
did
boy,
deserve it.
you could feel the pain. Like, oh my god, no
Yeah.
ear, man.
No air.
I'll go Total Recall as well because he did deserve it.
He was a
deserved
bastard.
it.
He was
That's
a bastard.
another one. All agree, man. All agree.
Unanimous. The Total Recall death. Carl Hagen. See you at the party, Richter.
Yeah.
Hey,
That was a great scene as well. Just dash his hands down to him as well.
Here
That
comes a
scene
new
was
challenger. Okay, what about how he died in Total Recall? Since we're on
That
Total
was
Recall,
big.
he got his arms ripped off and then just fell from the lift to his death.
Yeah.
That was a big.
Like-
He deserved that.
You're still feeling the pain of your arms being ripped off.
Yeah.
And any minute now, any minute now. So you're
And then-
thinking about your arms, but I'm dead in a minute.
Yeah.
But you're thinking about your arms takes your mind off it, man. You're
And
thinking
then-
about
and
your
then
arms.
When you hit the deck and you die, your arms then hit you in the head afterwards.
Yeah.
Just to finish you off. Shit,
That was
a bad
messed
one.
up. That was messed up. Okay, let's get into our next. Okay, so these two are again 80s villains. These two are like ones that thought they got away. These ones who thought they were there and they just didn't make it. So our first one comes from the 1989 Batman movie. Tim Burton comes on the scene, fresh off Beetlejuice and so on. And we're going, hey, Michael Keaton, Beetlejuice gonna be Batman? What's that all about? It's not gonna work. Adam West is the best Batman. No one can ever replace him. Who's gonna be Why is he gonna be Batman? Then we saw the car, then we saw the outfit, and we went, okay, let's take a look at this.
Give it a go.
Let's give it a go. For me, it's not my favorite Batman movie, and he's not my favorite Batman. But the way his arch enemy, the Joker, died was quite messed up. So, if you guys remember, the Joker thought he got away. The Joker copter is in the air with those 70s ladders. You know that ladder everyone climbs up. That frail
the rope
ladder. Lex Luthor had them. Every villain from DC has them in the 80s. Anyway, so the Joker thinks he's got away. He's called for his copter, isn't he? He's called for his copter. He's jumped on the ladder. He's on his way up, but Batman's got his gadgets. Batman gets his back grip thing he's got, attaches it to a gargoyle that attaches to the Joker's leg, which slowly pulls him down to his death.
Yeah.
He's trying to hang on. The gargoyle's too heavy. He can't take it off.
Yeah,
he's gonna die any minute.
Yeah.
He knows it. Why he's still hanging on? But he thinks there's a hope. But the gargoyle's too heavy. You just got beaten up by Batman. You ever done to a devil in Belgrade? He's already gotten beat up by Batman. He can't take no more. He's hanging on, and he falls to his death with his laughing machine still laughing in his front pocket. Okay, so messed up death. He thought he got away. The copter came, he's gone. Batman was clever. Gargoyle pulled him down, he's done. But now there's another one. We're going back to Indiana Jones actually, because in the second movie, there was a man who looked like taking out people's hearts for fun while singing a song. Yeah. And he even tried to do it to Indy. Then he tried to burn his missus, and then he tried to put kids in slavery. Wasn't having that. What a bastard. Anyway, he's fighting for the stones on the ladder with Indy. He thinks he's got the stones.
Yeah.
He thinks everything's all good.
Yeah.
The stones get too hot because he got a bit too hasty.
Yes.
Tries to grab the stone, grabs air, and falls to his death. But not only does he fall to his death, there are crocodiles waiting for him.
Yeah.
So, in
Rip him to
proper
bits.
Looney Tune style, as well as falling to death, he then
Or Danger Mouse.
when he's
Yeah, innit?
falling, you can hear him bouncing off
He
like
bounces
the
off the
side.
cliffs, off the side of the cliffs. He's already scuffed up.
He's already scuffed up and then falls to be a munch for the crocodiles at the bottom.
Yeah.
So two evil bastard Hollywood villains falling to their death when they think they've just got away. They both thought they were just there to free them. They thought they'd foiled the hero. Both fell to their death. Guys, which one is the most fucked up and which one is the most satisfying death, man?
Temple of Doom.
Yeah, I've got to go Temple of Doom, man. Even though we all know that they were alligators that they showed you on screen because it was shot in America and not crocodiles from India. But
Yeah.
if they were crocodiles, then that is the worst. But just that scene alone, when he's on the rope bridge, he's got Mola Ram's guys coming from every side, and he's like, Mola Ram, prepare to meet Kali in hell, and he cuts the thing. That scene,
He cuts
That was a
that's
good
a
scene, yeah.
big move actually.
love that scene, man. But there is another good. I'm going to give it to that. But there's another good killing in that film right at the beginning. Do you remember he throws a kebab at someone? He stabs a guy in the club with a big long flaming meat kebab.
Does he?
The Chinese, he's fighting the Chinese or the triads, whatever they're at the start.
Yeah.
I think I can remember.
And there's one of them sitting there. And he needs the antidote. He needs the antidote.
Yeah, no, I remember he needed the
And
antidote.
he picks up a flaming kebab and stabs the guy.
Chili sauce.
And chili sauce on there.
Do you remember the name of that club that they were at?
No, I don't. No.
It was called Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I've seen that actually. Yeah, I've seen that.
Because you would set the link between that's supposed to be him when he's in freeze, isn't it? That's supposed to be his dreams when he's in freeze.
That's just
a fan theory. Yeah, but that could. But yeah, I think you're right. It is Obi-Wan's, isn't it? Yeah.
It's called Obi-Wan's. Yeah.
That's where he meets Willie at the start, isn't it? It's that big opening title scene. But yeah, I love the actual death of Mola Ram though. I'm going for that over. Joker just fell. He fell when he just fell.
And something in me wanted the Joker to get away, so he can be in the sequel.
So he could be in
I like Jack Nicholson,
but Jack Nicholson's not my favorite Joker. So I'm not.
But still, there's only one Joker.
I thought
there's only one
time.
Joker.
Yeah, we know that.
At the time.
Yeah, but I wanted him to get away.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I know. I didn't want him to get away. I didn't like him. I just wanted him out of the film. Like they spent too much. They spent too much money on his wages. That they forgot about the budget to make more action scenes.
It's true.
It was always in the dark, so they saved on electricity. Just for Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, it was very dark all the time.
Not fair. They saved on light, extras, fight scenes, explosions. Allow it, man.
Just to play Jack.
So what we saying?
Mola Ram.
Yeah, definitely, man.
He was more evil, wasn't he? Oh,
Stack's gonna pull some hearts out in a minute, man.
That's what I'm saying. You can't be pulling people's hearts out and not expect to get a brutal death, man.
All right, let's move on to our next two evil Hollywood bastards that deserve to die because they were absolute cunts. All right, so
Are you allowed to say that?
Parental advisory.
movie ones. Though. They're probably really good guys. So they acting was so convincing that as kids we saw them as real evil bastards.
I don't know about this next dude though, man. He seemed like an evil bastard in real life.
He seemed like this guy seemed like he was.
I think
in,
I know who this
what's
is.
That film? Chopper.
He seems like one of them dudes. Yeah.
He was like a cross between Freddie Mercury and Chopper Harris. He had leather fingerless gloves, chainmail vest, leather trousers.
I had that exact line written.
Leather trousers, and he was built like Tyson Fury.
He wasn't like your normal Hollywood sort of.
He wasn't like a normal Hollywood action villain.
Wasn't.
Because he was up against John Matrix. And John Matrix, aka Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, was ripped against this guy.
Mr. Universe, for fuck's sakes.
Mr. Universe
against Charles Bronson, Freddie Mercury.
versus Charles Freddie Tyson Mercury.
Right, yeah. Commando.
Tyson Mercury, you know.
From Commando, we have.
That's funny.
We have, what's his name again?
Bennett, Vernon Wells. Bennett.
Yeah.
Bennett. We have Bennett. Now, Bennett, they were both in the Commando, weren't they? They were both commandos.
They were in the same unit, yeah.
They were in the same unit.
And Arnie sacked him, I think, and he wanted revenge or something like that. He wanted revenge. Kicked him out his unit.
Yeah, he didn't like Arnie, and he would do anything to get revenge. He said, I'll even do it for free. And that's how...
because he was employed.
He was employed, but he said, no, I don't want the money. I need the money. I need the credit cards. I need the money for John. So he was so obsessed with getting John that he when he kidnapped John's daughter, and then they bribed him to kill the president of some country,
Valverde.
Yeah, if they didn't, they would kill his daughter with Bennett by the villain's side. Okay, so Bennett didn't care what happened, and he's probably going to kill John Matrix and his daughter anyway. That was the plan.
That's what it was intended.
That was the plan anyway.
You couldn't wait for Matrix to meet up with this dude.
You couldn't wait. So when they found out that the guy on the plane got his neck broken and was on the plane all that time with a Hawaiian shirt and a broken neck.
He's dead tired.
Yeah, after they realised he was literally dead tired.
I forgot about that scene.
Don't disturb my friend.
They got the phone call to say Matrix has left the building. We need to going to plan B, and that's kill the daughter. So Bennett's on his way to kill Matrix's daughter. Matrix comes on the scene in pants, but then puts on garms. By the time he gets to the island, he blows up people with his quad rocket launcher. He slices people's heads with gardening tools and rakes. And then he kills the main guy who wanted this all done. But now it's time to fight Bennett.
Face off.
Time to fight Bennett. It's a face-off. Yeah. It's ex-commandos versus each other. It's just like the old days. It's sparring buddies again, going head-to-head, toe-to-toe with the strength. And he's still got his chainmail vest on while he's fighting. All right? Remember this bit? They're fighting. He even picks up a hot door and beats Arnold Schwarzenegger with it. And a pole. Schwarzenegger ain't having it. Schwarzenegger turns around and says, bullshit! And just beats the hell out of him. Remember, there's a sequence of backhands, everything. Remember that sequence?
Yeah.
Right, and then he's
I'm not going to shoot you between the eyes. I'm going to shoot between the balls.
Yes. Bennett gets the gun he wanted all that time, but Schwarzenegger's quicker than the bullet in this scene. But he promises to shoot in between the balls, but Bennett ain't having it. Throws the pipe through his chest, and with the catchphrase, what's the catchphrase, guys, after he throws the pipe in his chest?
Let off some steam, Bennett.
Yeah.
Let off some steam.
Let off some steam. He's up against it's Schwarzenegger versus Stallone again. 80s, they were vying for who had the best muscles, vying for who had the best movies, who had the best action sequence, the biggest explosions. So we've just mentioned Schwarzenegger throws the pipe through Bennett's chest, messed up death, for all the evil shit he'd done. But this is just John Rambo met this lady. He went on holiday. He only knew her for about 2 days. He knew this bird for 2 days and he was in love. You know them dudes who fall in love.
Yeah.
Man,
that was Rambo. He fell in love as soon as he met her.
Whipped.
She gave him a bit of jewelry, put it around his neck. He was in love. Yeah,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. He thought everything was going fine, but then the enemy comes and he starts shooting up the boat that they're on. He gets into Rambo mode. He manages to kill a few, but then the main villain kills his missus, isn't it? He kills the girl that he fell in love with. He shoots her. I can't remember. He does something, and Rambo sees it anyway. So Rambo's out for revenge. Rambo's not having it. I said Schwarzenegger had the quad rocket launcher. Yeah. Rambo had arrows that would explosive tipped arrows.
Yeah. Explosive tipped arrows. Yeah, they were good.
And he saved this one for this guy.
Lieutenant Tay was
Lieutenant Tay. He remembered seeing his new love that he knew for 2 days get killed by this guy.
Didn't it?
So while this guy's at a distance, Rambo's just looking at him. Just remember that. He's looking at him thinking, you know what? Shoot all you want.
Shoot all you want,
I'm gonna get you.
Your shot saying hitting me.
Your shot saying hitting me. Puts this exploding arrow on. Slowly pulls back his bow. Let's go. And the guy explodes in seconds. So,
gone.
So, Schwarzenegger versus Stallone. Which death was more fucked up and who deserved to die more? And which death was more satisfying?
Bennett's one was more satisfying for me.
Bennett's was satisfying because he was doing the most. Bennett was doing the most.
Bennett was really he was frustrating me throughout.
For me, Bennett was only sort of winding him up, like, I'm going to kill your daughter. You got to do this. So like, he hadn't actually done that. He hadn't killed someone like Lieutenant Tay had. Lieutenant Tay had murdered.
But he was on his way to kill her.
But it's just the antagonization.
If Schwarzenegger didn't get there in time,
and it's supposed to be his mate as well.
It's supposed to be his mate.
Exactly.
He'd only met this girl for a couple of days, but still, he's killed her.
He said he'd kill his mate for free, and he's going to kill the daughter.
And his daughter, no.
I think Arnie knows though, like, I'm gonna kill this fucker. Like, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna kill him. So I've got a little bit more confidence that I know what you mean though. But Bennett and that fight was a bit of an anticlimax. Like, was straight away at the start, you're seeing this sort of beer belly sort of looking Freddie Mercury with his string vest on. You're thinking, man, what's he gonna do to Arnie? Like, he ain't got a chance against Arnie. So already I'm thinking it's gonna be a shit fight at the end. And the actual fight wasn't great, was it? It didn't. Not much happened. There was a bit of to-in and throw-in, and he threw the pole at him. But just the way the Rambo one shot,
that was a big fight, mate.
It was a big fight.
Enjoyed that fight.
It was a big fight. For me, the way Bennett died, it was deserved. He got his just deserved.
Definitely deserved.
Yeah. So we're talking about deaths here. Who whose was more deserved, and I think Bennett, man.
He definitely went through a slower process.
He needed to let off steam.
Yeah, he would have taken a while letting off steam before he went. Whereas Lieutenant Tay's gone. He's obliterated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's gone.
So you're saying Lieutenant Tay, Chris?
But no, I'm for worst death. I'm saying Bennett, but that scene for me was a bit of an anticlimax. I thought it ain't going to be a great fight. It was over quite quick. Whereas I liked the way the Rambo one looked, the way that pose, him standing on top of the cliff, the way it was shot, the colours.
You get all cinematic, man. We're just asking about that.
That's what I'm saying. That's just too Hollywood for me.
The colour grading.
Beautiful scene when people die. I want rainbows when people get
When you
shot.
see him with the bow and arrow, it's like, I do like that scene. I like the scene of him blowing up the other dude. But I'm gonna go Bennett because it was the deserved one.
Stacks, what are you saying? Who's deaf?
Well, yeah, of course, because you know what I'm like with Rambo and Stallone. I don't really like it.
But we're talking about the deaf.
I know. Hold on.
Leroy, tell him. Remind him, Leroy.
I feel like I've seen because I'm not 100% sure I've seen the Rambo death. I think I have.
It's Stacks. It's you. I don't think you ain't seen it, Stacks. It's you. You haven't seen it.
I might well have done.
You haven't. If you can't remember it, you haven't seen it.
Mate, because I haven't watched a whole Rambo movie. I've seen bits. So I might have seen that bit and been like, okay, and then moved on. It sounds familiar. Sounds really familiar.
It's well shot.
I'm going to go with Bennett because I know I've seen that.
Let's go for Bennett.
All out Bennett's thing.
It's been a while since Stacks hasn't seen anything. It's refreshing again to remind us of your absence of 80s movies.
Did it?
And even Hot Shots Part Dirt took the mick out of that death anyway. So that just goes to show. Bennett's death was much better.
Yeah, that wasn't parried. That wasn't parody.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. So yeah.
All right. Let's get into our final death. Let's see what you guys are thinking of this one now. As we were saying at the beginning about lovable villains and so on, out of all these villains, these are probably the most lovable villains. As evil as they are, we all quote them. When we see their appearances again, we go, yeah, they're back. When we first saw them, both of them, for many different reasons, seeing both of these villains for the first time, it was like, that looks cool. That's mind blowing. Never seen anything like that. So let's get to the first one. The first one is the T-800. So we're talking about the Terminator.
Terminator
right?
1, yeah.
We're talking about the first Terminator movie. As I just said, first time you see the Terminator, you're like, damn, this is crazy.
This thing can't be stopped. Like, how are you going to kill it?
But we thought we saw it all. But in the last 15 minutes, we saw the skeleton robot, and that we weren't expecting that. Okay, we may have saw his arm open up, we may have saw his red eye in the bathroom, but we wasn't expecting to see a full robot skeleton still on the hunt for revenge. Yeah. Gets his legs blown off, still not revenge,
coming.
murder. Yeah. Still on the hunt for murder. Still crawling.
Never giving up.
In this particular scene, Sarah Connor she's crawling, but she's injured. The explosion happens. She's got shrapnel on her leg. She's crawling underneath this pressing machine.
The hydraulic press, yeah. She crawls through the hydraulic press.
She crawls through the hydraulic press. She gets to the end. The hand, proper 80s style.
You're terminated, fucker.
Terminator's hand grabs her leg, pulling her leg, trying to pull. He's not giving up. This guy
weren't giving up.
I remember watching it and thinking, this is like a horror film as well.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Like this is horror, action, adventures, everything in one movie.
Yeah.
Best pirate I've ever seen.
One of the best pirates I've ever seen.
It's true.
But it's Robocop. Anyway, so
yeah.
As Chris said, she gets away, just like Run Up the Travelator on Gladiators. She gets away, gets to the end, presses the button and says,
"You're terminated, fucker,"
and presses the T-800 and he's flattened. I know it's a robot, but for me as a kid, I did think of that scenario and go, because remember in the 80s, being crushed. Remember in Star Wars when the walls are closing in? Remember that scenario when walls close in?
It used to happen all the time, or like spikes on the wall or whatever.
Spikes
or something was booby trapped.
Yeah, you know them kind of deaths where claustrophobia kicks in.
What happened to booby traps?
Yeah, it's gone.
Booby traps are done.
They were big.
Booby traps.
They were big. So that whole being crushed, as Chris saying, falling in quicksand, all those scenarios were really big in the 80s. So the
ceilings coming down to crush you.
Yeah. So the thought of being crushed by this press thing It's kind of messed up.
You thought about it often as a kid because you saw that in movies, isn't it? So you would think, what's it like being crushed? Like,
Crushed. That's
you can imagine the Terminator.
not what's it like being crushed, but that's messed up. Anyway, because all through the film, you are watching a human, but it's a robot. But you kind of got,
it builds your emotion for him.
You feel
a bit sorry
because
for him. So I still thought his eye was going to turn back on again.
Yeah, that was the rumor. That's how. You remember, because in the 80s, something always happened at the end. Like you see another critter pop out the barn or something, and then it finishes. People thought at the end of Terminator, after the credits, the red eye would come back and it goes.
It was all the arm though, wasn't it? The arm was the only thing that was left, and that is what they needed to get in T2 because they were backward developing Terminator from his arm, weren't they? The only bit that was left of him.
That's the only bit. The same arm that tried to grab her ankle. Yeah. That's how they got it. Yeah, that's how it worked. Because that got out. She crushed him.
The only thing that didn't
remember, he was crushed. Yeah. So anyway, that death of T-800 getting crushed is up again. As I said, both characters, both villains were lovable. We watched Terminator to see the Terminator. Even though he was a villain. He was out to kill an innocent woman.
That's who you want to watch.
But you were watching him. Right?
Terminator,
Just how when you watch Star Wars, you watch The Empire Strikes Back. So you see Star Wars, you saw Darth Vader, you saw Stormtroopers, you see the Scout, you saw different costumes of Stormtroopers. You saw Empire Strikes Back, you saw Boba Fett. Oh, he's cool. You saw more villains, you saw bounty hunters. And then you saw Return of the Jedi. And again, within the first 15 minutes, you saw something you didn't know you were seeing. There were no spoilers back in those days. You thought it was Darth Vader again on his rampage to kill the rebels. But the first villain you saw was Jabba the Hutt. Now, Jabba the Hutt was a gangster. Bad man of Tatooine.
His Excellency.
Yeah, His Excellency, His Slimacy.
The Eminence of Tatooine. Crime Lord.
Yeah.
He didn't care who you were. If you were Han Solo, if you were... Boba Fett worked for him. That's how dark he is. Boba Fett worked for him. You know, Boba Fett... Okay. He was working with Darth Vader. He told Darth Vader to send me Han Solo's body. Like,
he operated the whole criminal empire, basically. Who
tells Vader to bring me Han Solo's body when you're done?
Yeah.
To grab up the soul. He was running things. As I said, a lovable villain. He just wanted to smoke and eat frogs.
Yeah. And watch girls dance.
And watch girls dance half naked. And then watch them get eaten by his pet. That was fucked up. That was fucked up. But look, he done his thing. He controlled Tatooine. He controlled his vicinity. But he came to his downfall when he tried to fuck around with the twins that are Luke and Leia. Yeah? He knew they were going to come from him. He couldn't think. There's no way he could think that they were just going to leave Han Solo there and they weren't going to come rescue him.
They're not going to come from there.
They're going to come rescue him. He heard Luke was a Jedi. Oh, Jedi. Well, he knew he was coming for him. But he still stood up, sat up, Len. Anyway, whatever he was doing.
He was just there.
That's that 80s album cover look.
Yeah, he's doing the Lionel Richie pose.
The Lionel Richie pose.
Well, my favourite pose.
One
of the Stax's poses.
Yeah.
You mean my favourite pose?
He had an album. He had an album on the way next week. But it sold more though because he tired. But
Tatooine's greatest hits.
Listen to Jabba's the Jabba album. Tatooine or bust. So remember when it's all going off and Luke warned him. Remember Luke warned him on just before the bridge. He said something like, "Jabba, let us go. We're very powerful.
I'll give you one more chance," or something. He says, "And I'll give you one more."
Yeah. As Jabba went on like he. Remember, Jabba went on like he was on The Voice, went and pressed something with his hand, and then
because it was Will I Am.
Yeah.
His chest pump round and everything.
Jabber I am. And then so it all kicked off, did it? All kicked off. Luke got his saber out, chopping up the place. Han's free now. We got
Boba Fett.
It's all happening. Yeah, Boba Fett. When it happens, knocks out Boba Fett. But But Jabba thinks he's safe. He thinks, look, Leia's just here.
He's
What's she gonna do?
I can just watch this.
He's just watching it all happen, thinking, I've got a fit bird next to me,
With a nice
wearing
outfit
next to
on,
nothing,
yeah.
nice
Wearing
outfit. I can just watch this. They're gonna come to me. Little does he know that she knows the Force. And as small as she was, she still managed to wrap the chain around
channeled some
him
energy, man. Yeah, she
and
channeled some
strangled
energy.
him to death.
Strangles him to death.
So
Jedi's like a chokehold, don't they, man?
they like a choke. Yeah, exactly. But she had to use apparatus for it. But she'll get to learn. She'll get to learn. So, what was more gruesome? Who deserved it more? Was it being strangled to death by Princess Leia, or being crushed by the presser?
I'm gonna have to go with the presser, because I'm just going back to like watching that back in the day and being like, why won't this thing just die?
Yeah.
Like,
I was scared.
just die, man. It was just, it was annoying. So when it got pressed, and like you said, I was expecting to see the eye come back on again afterwards. Yeah, that took the tension in that
That's
scene.
a good word, Louis. I was relieved, and that's the power of cinema.
It's
in them
over.
days.
It's over.
Yeah.
Like, you felt relieved for her, and it's over.
Yeah,
It's like you could breathe again. And I can breathe again now, man.
proper adrenaline.
This thing
rush.
just was not giving up.
It weren't giving up, man. It was just like, bloody hell.
Yeah.
And you know, when like the red from the eyes goes, you're thinking, oh, thank God for that. And the thing is, we've called the Terminator lovable. It was only lovable in part 2. This one was like, oh my God.
But he was still the attraction of the film. If he got killed
You're
halfway
watching
through the
it
film,
yeah,
you'd have been,
you
oh,
switched off.
bloody hell.
You
I
would have
know,
wanted
I
to
know,
see
I
it
know
more,
what you
innit?
You're watching it
I know what you
for
mean.
him. It was the more sort of gruesome death, getting crushed like that. But another way of looking at it, he was purely out to kill one person, where Jabba's caused enough shit. He's he's ruled a galaxy of criminals and done loads of crime and definitely deserved to die. But the killing of the T-800 was better than Leia.
better.
But I want to give it to
needed
Leia
to-
just because she had a wicked outfit on.
The thing with Jabba, like with Terminator, is it needed to happen. Jabba could have probably survived the whole ordeal and carried on doing his like criminal activities later on. But this Terminator needed
He needed
to be gotten rid of. The film's
somehow.
not ending until she's dead or it's dead.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. And
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
So we're
right,
all
you're right,
going to
Stats.
go for the T-100 being crushed.
Yeah. All day long, man. All day long.
Yeah,
That was a good bit of cinema. That
It was
man.
very good cinema. Very good.
It was tense. So we've shown. Let's round up what's the worst death out of all these, and let's do that. So we've got is it the T-800's death? Is it Bennett's death? Is it
Molaram.
Molaram's death? Is it Total Recall guy's death, or is it the melting Robocop Cohagen, or is it Emil?
Roll.
All those deaths we've talked about. Which is the number one bastard? You deserve it. Hollywood actor death.
Emil,
Character death.
it's got to be.
See, we've had two that's had two things done. Emil had the acid and getting run over, and then Molaram's had the drop and they're getting eaten by crocodiles.
Yeah.
But I think they get the melting, man, and then getting knocked over.
Yeah.
So we're all going for a meal. All these deaths, that's the most gruesome death we've seen. Have all these.
I've rerun that death too many times,
Yeah.
and had tears in my eyes with laughter. Like it's got to be that one.
Laughter.
I know it's just I was a bit
You
crazy.
wanted him to go, innit? He was a
Yeah, but he was
a
because he was
bastard.
he was only hard around his boys. He was that kind of dude.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You weren't shitting fame.
Yeah.
Definitely, man.
But I didn't reckon when I saw Robocop, I didn't say that's that guy from Fame. I didn't know.
I did find that
know
out later as well.
But so we're all saying that his Emil's melting
Emil,
death.
man, it's got to
Emil.
be.
All right,
That's
all right.
He was just like you said. He was annoying, man.
and a superb death for a villain.
Yeah.
That's how villains should go out.
Yeah.
It's a bit like how we were saying with Vernon as well. Like Vernon doesn't look your typical Bennett, doesn't look your typical villain, but in Mad Max, he's pretty good in that. He comes across better in that sort of, that weird apocalypto, don't know what year it is sort of filmed than what he looks like in Commander. But I hated him in that, so I instantly hated him when I saw him in Commander.
So guys, listen, I hope you enjoyed our episode, and did you agree with our choices there? You know, we're going to be having some more episodes of this coming to you soon. But in the meantime, let us know if you've got any suggestions or think, villains that we should match or any we've missed for this episode. Let us know, and we may mention them in our next bastard Hollywood villains episode.
Anyone that used to be on SoundCloud, find us on Spotify now. There's like voice memos and polls and little Q&A things you can get involved in as well with most of the shows. So check us out on Spotify.
Till then, bye guys.
Hey. Till next time. Peace.
Those were the days I remember.